Come back to grab your brew.
And if you're new, please like and subscribe. Help us grow, please.
Before we begin, quiet note. Today is going to talk about torture, not for spectacle, not for shock, but because without torture, you do not get the largest witch hunts. The ones that spiral into hundreds of executions. Pause and let that settle.
We often imagine witch trials as chaotic, so panicked villagers, mob fear, religious frenzy. But the truth is colder. Many hunts were procedural, legal, carefully documented, signed at the bottom.
Which makes what we're about to step into far more disturbing. Welcome back, Coffee Beans. This is episode 6. I almost said sticks. Episode 6, Confession Machine. To understand torture in witch trials, we need to understand one legal pressure. Many early modern courts wanted something called full proof. Judges were not supposed to execute on suspicion alone, but witchcraft posed a unique problem. It was considered a hidden crime. No weapon, no body, no witnesses, just fear.
So courts faced an uncomfortable question. How do you prove something that nobody else can see?
And the answer, well, gradually became this. If evidence cannot be found, create conditions where confessions become a path to certainty and torture becomes legally useful.
So this is important. Torture was not intended to be random. This is the shocking thing. It existed within a legal framework. There were supposed there were supposed to be rules, escalation stages, recorded interrogations, and then post-confession confirmations.
Which sounds organized until you remember the entire structure was built around pain.
And pain rearranges a person's reality.
Modern psychology helps us understand this. Something early courts severely underestimated. Under extreme pain, the human brain, it switches to survival mode. And both me and you know on a smaller scale than these people, how that can change the brain's perception of things.
Oh, definitely.
You can have memory lapses, you can have amnesia, you do anything to just purely
You
to
mold
survive.
yourself
Right.
to make yourself smaller.
Yeah, it's like
to survive.
if I stay quiet and if I bend to their every will, maybe I'll get through the next day.
Yeah.
Accuracy became secondary in this, and confession becomes an exit, not a truth statement, survival strategy, or just to stop the torture.
It's very easy for people to talk about integrity, but the difference is, most of us haven't got screws tightening on us all the time, and especially not literally. So, a case we have covered before, but with a bit more detail this time, Ioannis, Unius. We will put the name up because I'm probably saying it wrong. I do apologise because this is a serious one. So, this is when confession is engineered. We briefly met him before, as I've just said, but now we're stepping inside the machinery. This guy was a respected mayor in Bamberg, educated, connected, powerful, and then he's arrested for witchcraft and tortured until he confessed. But before his torture and execution, he secretly smuggled a letter to his daughter. He wrote, "I am innocent. They tortured me until I said what they wanted."
It's terrifying.
He described being... It is. It really is. And in this letter, and we have got the sources for it.
We will put them on the screen.
Yes. He describes being shown a list of names. Sorry, gets me a bit emotional, this. And told he must accuse others on the list. Anyone.
Which is less of a justice system and more of a chain of reaction with paperwork, because it's almost like, oh, who can we take out next? It's more of a who's in your way rather than somebody being harmed. It's just, and it happens today, unfortunately, just in a different mask per se. They will
But we
villainize
still use
somebody.
and we still use the term, oh, it's just a witch hunt.
Yeah. Me and you had that same, we were watching I actually responded to a comment on this. I'm not going to say what we were watching, but she was saying like about witch hunting. Her comment was precisely, I'll put it here. She said basically that people are scary. I will put the exact quote here. And I responded to her saying that, me and Jodie were watching a documentary, and the way they went after one person just to kind of point the blame on somebody for something, because in reality, had they accepted the real flaws, it would have cost them millions. To avoid
Sometimes
spending
it's
millions. Yeah, it's convenience. And even in political moves, they will, like I said, witch hunt, pinpoint somebody as a criminal, and then it'll come out later they didn't do nothing wrong, but at this point you've already tarnished their name. So now, you're conveniently in that position, or somebody you wanted now has that position, and this person's life's destroyed.
Oh yeah, they've already been in prison for quite a few years, and it's looking like it was false.
Yeah,
So our life will be over either way.
absolutely destroyed, innocent or guilty, because people will still have that thought process from the witch hunt of, oh, well, I don't believe they were actually innocent. It's mass manipulation.
It is. It is. People need to use their own brains and do their own research. But the problem with the historical witch hunts is once torture enters the process, guilt stops being discovered. It's then manufactured.
Now we will revisit John Fane from last week in Scotland, 1591. The North Berwick trials. John Fane was a schoolmaster. He's accused of John Fane is a schoolmaster and is accused of conspiring with the devil and raising stones against King James. King James alone is a sadist, to put it nicely.
Talking about King James the Sixth.
I apologize. King James the Sixth, yes.
No.
He was a sadist and a prime example of where power corrupts the mind.
Oh yeah.
What follows is relentless. According to descriptions, accounts describe the pillywinks crushing fingers. Oh, the thought of it. My hands just hurt when it's cold. Ugh.
Yeah.
The boot designed to shatter the leg and the forcible removal of fingernails. Now, I've had that happen a couple of times. I think the other two are far worse, but still horrendous.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of horror movies where someone reaches out and the nail just...
And you see all the stuff attached.
So, of course, he confesses. He has to. I mean, what's the alternative? Later, he does recant, but then the torture resumes. Eventually, he was executed at Castle Hill in Edinburgh. Sorry, but it's just...
It's heartbreaking because they've all gone down in history as guilty for the simple fact that they just wanted the torture to end. You basically made them suicidal.
And there's a moment in torture-driven trials where denial becomes proof. Confess, you're guilty, deny you're lying. Either way, the verdict is waiting. It's like we were saying about the witch dunkings in some countries.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she drowned, so she must have been innocent.
And you're a witch. Exactly. Either way, you're dead.
It is not an investigation. It's a genocide to me. It's a genocide of human rights. And I'm sorry I'm getting so... It does make me angry. And the deeper we dive into these and the more we watch and the more shows and documentaries, and because we have been on a witch binge for this stuff to kind of get in the same frame.
And don't forget, we have got full sources.
We've got full sources, and the blog should be up and running soon. And Jodie will nicely write a catalogue, and you will have tabs with sources and backgrounds. Even original documents that have been found will be in there. It is a conclusion searching for compliance.
Oh, interrogation didn't simply record narratives, though. It constructed them. So, leading questions, theological expectations, judicial assumptions, all of these were guided on what a proper confession sounded like. I say proper confession. So soon suspects were described as night flyers, having gatherings, pacts,
That's
supernatural
where the witch on the
harm.
broom comes from.
It's crazy.
When in actuality, the sweeping of the broom was cleansing, out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, it was a ritual, but no different to how Christians take Holy Communion. It's still a ritual. You wouldn't call it witchcraft, though.
Doing my hair every morning would not be witchcraft either, but we all do it. We get up, we brush our teeth, we do everything is time. You're basically saying the invention of time is witchcraft, because we all do things by a certain time, whether you think you do or not. If you go to work, it's a ritual.
Yeah.
You have tea a certain time, it's a ritual. Drown her, see if she survives. Tell the court the story it expects. And sometimes the pain pauses for a little while, for a brief moment. Truth became negotiation. Now we move forward to Switzerland, which this shocked me because I always thought they were just such fun-loving, peaceful people. Switzerland in 1782. The Enlightenment is underway. Scientific thinking does exist, and yet the machinery still turns. Anna Goldie is arrested after a child in her employer's household falls mysteriously ill. Officially, she is charged with poisoning.
The case quickly becomes saturated with witchcraft language again. Under torture, of course, she confesses to a pact with the devil. Of course she did. They were torturing her. She later withdraws the confession, but it doesn't save her. She's executed. This is because I'm getting myself emotional. She's executed by sword.
I think the heartbreaking part to most of this is they didn't have slow deaths.
No.
It was very... sorry, guys.
It was brutal.
What makes Goldie chilling is not medieval superstition. It's the date. 1782. History is rarely as tidy as we want to pretend it is.
Progress, clearly, when you look at these dates, isn't a straight line. Sometimes it limps and herples. And yes, herple is a word. I herple.
Definition. Once one confession appears, interrogators ask the most dangerous question in a witch hunt history. Who else was there?
Today, your neighbour. Tomorrow, their cousin. Next month, someone powerful starts to worry. Just when everybody inconvenient, poor, and are draining on resources as targeted, they just keep climbing up.
Yeah, and it's like, why didn't you just tell them that it's this person instead of trying to torture it out of me? It's like, is it because some of the people... Sorry, I know this is kind of going off on a tangent, but if you've got a room of so many people when they're torturing, trying to get this confession, is it that they have to have people of different political views in the room for the torture as to why they need the confession? Or because if blanketly, if they're all evil, they could just say, oh, well, they said this, in opposed to torturing this pure person.
Because they genuinely seem to believe that it would get results.
I feel like the person torturing them, obviously you've got a figurehead, right? The bad guy, the puppeteer. And I think that they generally, down the spiral of people, these people genuinely do believe what they're doing is right.
They do, and that's what makes it all the more terrifying.
This is how hunts grow. Not because hundreds were witches, but because the system learned how to sustain momentum. Okay.
Even at the time, some jurists and investigators warned that torture produced unreliable confessions. So it wasn't that everybody believed this. Some people did say hidden crimes could not be proven this way, but institutions resist admitting catastrophic error, especially when the executions began.
It's very difficult to pause a machine after you've taught it how to run.
Eventually, the accusations climb too high. The people become too respected, too politically dangerous.
And suddenly, skeptics appear. Not always from compassion, sometimes from self-preservation. Amazing how quickly due process becomes fashionable when elites feel nervous.
So why did torture fade? I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but gradually, evidentiary reform, judicial caution, intellectual change, growing skepticism towards coerced confession. I mean, we think it's common sense, but clearly they didn't. That's when courts began to realise something devastating. Now, as if we need to say this, torture does not reveal witches. It manufactures them.
To harden. Many who confessed likely understood one thing: the process would not stop. So confession became a way to end pain, a way to shorten imprisonment, sometimes a way to protect the family, especially if they had children and things of that nature. They're going to want to separate themselves from that. Like, go ahead and kill me, get it over and done with. Because a real mother, and let's face it, a majority were women, even though there was men, a real mother would get sacrificed for a child without, in a heartbeat, anything to protect the rest of them. It's like, you've already accused me once that I already know in this time period, or you've accused me of witch, that's it, my life's over. What can I do now to protect them?
Yeah. It's very hard to judge the decisions of someone whose entire world has been narrowed down to just purely surviving. So we shouldn't judge.
Witch hunts did not grow. No, definitely. Witch hunts did not grow because of real magic. Because real magic, I think they're smarter. They grew because certainty was a force.
And once the system learns how to manufacture a truth, it becomes very difficult to dismantle it. Which leads us into the next episode. Episode 7, we will step into the aftermath, how societies explained what they had done.
How memory reshaped the witch. Go ahead and bring your brew, guys. Again, you're going to need it. It's going to be another serious one. And don't forget to check out our Wednesday episodes. At this point, like I said, we are bulk recording, so I can't remember what will be next after this one. Sorry, guys.
Something either spooky or disturbing.
Yeah, we do have a lot of juicy stuff. We just don't know what order they're going to be released, because obviously they're not series. But right here below the video, you can see... Sorry, how rude of me. That's my phone. You can see buy me a coffee.
How very dare you.
How very dare I. I'm sorry. I will hang my head in shame. But
stand up the corner. Now hang your head in shame, child.
But at the bottom of the screen, you can buy me a coffee. And all the proceeds go towards equipment and trips for the channel. And hopefully I'll be able to punish me by the next episode. Have an amazing week, guys. I love you.
Bye.